Hey, good morning, everybody. Matt Modi with OddsJam, and I'm sure as you can guess it by now, giving out my favorite NBA player props for today. So, despite the fact that there are only two games being played today, I was able to find four, player props that I really like. Yesterday, I went 2-2, but I had two one-unit plays. Those both hit. I had one, obviously, three-quarter unit that lost, and one half unit that lost, but I was able to profit because of the two bigger plays that hit. So that was good. So for today, like I said, I have four player props for the NBA. So let's get into it. The first play that I'm going to look into, that I'm going to lock in, I should say, is this Andrew Wiggins over 1.5 made three-pointers minus 130 at PointsBet. Of course, this is a positive expected value play. So let's chat about this one. Minus 130 at PointsBet. So let me go ahead and lock this in before anything. So I would like to put a full unit on this one. Andrew Wiggins over 1.5 made threes, but PointsBet has me limited, so we will see the max that they will let me get on this one. But for those of you at home, you should put one full unit on this one. Andrew Wiggins over 1.5 threes made, so I can put 64.99 on this one. 64.99. Profit exactly 50, but like I said, those of you at home, put a full unit on this one. So let's chat about it. Andrew Wiggins, over 1.5 made threes, minus 130. So let's talk about the math first, because that's obviously the most important thing and why all these plays are good. They're mathematically profitable. So the no vig odds that you see right here in this column calculate this to be about minus 136. And these no vig odds can be viewed as the true line of what a market should truly be priced at. We are getting it at minus 130. No vig odds have it at minus 136. So the gap between these two numbers is your positive expected value. The way those no vig odds are calculated, if you're new to the OddsJam YouTube channel, we've gotten a lot of new subscribers recently, which is great. I guess while I'm here, I would appreciate it if you are not already, if you could click that subscribe button and subscribe to the OddsJam YouTube channel. And then if you want to find me, I am on Twitter at Jedi Modi. You see the Star Wars poster. I do this every time. The Star Wars posters in the background. That's where the Jedi Modi comes from. That's my name on Twitter. So if you want to follow me there, you can. But anyways, for those of you who are new, the way these no vig odds are calculated is from, so OddsJam back tested a bunch of betting opportunities, like a bunch, meaning like thousands and thousands of betting opportunities, and use that data basically trying to determine what sportsbooks consistently do the best job at pricing odds consistently, right? Not just one time, but over the course of 1,000 bets in months and months. All of this historical data. So once that data was collected, calculated, determined what the sharp sports books were, then they removed the vig from all of those books using a weighted average. So if one book was better than the other, both were sharp, one was sharper than the other one, the sharper one, would have a higher weight towards the no vig line, right? It all makes sense. So these numbers, these no vig odds, it's the most important thing in terms of like why it's such a profitable system. Now, obviously, everything that shows up on the OddsJam positive EV page, it's going to be mathematically profitable. I just kind of wanted to explain why. And then also, so now that you know why it's mathematically profitable, the next step is what you can actually do yourself to find these profitable bets and decide which ones you should take versus which ones that maybe should be avoided. And the reason, the stuff that I look for, so I like to open up plays. So if you just click into a play, it pulls up where every sportsbook is pricing odds for it. And basically, we're just looking for outliers. So PointsBet prices this at minus 130. And look at all of the other sportsbooks and what they price it at. BetOnline, minus 167. DraftKings, minus 155. The only book that's close is FanDuel at minus 136. Every other book has it either in the minus 150s or minus 160s. Now, minus 130, minus 135 is about the lowest I'll go, the least favorable I'll go in terms of odds, the most juice that I'll pay. But really what you're trying to do is just compare to the rest of the betting markets. And we get a lot of comments about people asking, why does it matter what other sportsbooks have it priced at? We're just trying to find outliers. So if every sportsbook is telling you, hey, this should be priced in the minus 150s, minus 160s, except for one or two, the most likely scenario here, if we're just looking at it logically, is those books have it mispriced. And regardless of what the odds are themselves, if you're able to take advantage of outliers, that's how you can be profitable in the long run. Let the sportsbooks do all the work for you and take advantage of the ones that have mispriced odds. If you want to look at it like, if you're trying to buy a stock, right? all of the reputable stock exchanges like the New York Stock Exchange has Facebook stock at $300 a share. But this random market, this random exchange, you can get it at $280 a share. You would probably take advantage of that mispriced stock, right? You would obviously want to buy that because you say, oh, it should really be priced at $300. I'm going to make $20 per share almost immediately. It's the same thing with sports betting. So taking advantage of mispriced odds is incredibly important in the long run towards being profitable. So this is my first play. Andrew Wiggins over 1.5 made threes. Now, the last thing that I'll say before I move on is OddsJam, you can now sync your sportsbooks automatically. So this points bet, I won't have to manually add to my bet tracker because OddsJam will sync it automatically. So if you are using OddsJam, whether you are on the positive EV plan or not, I would recommend at least using the bet tracker because it's completely free. And like I mentioned, they can sync, the OddsJam bet tracker can sync sportsbooks for you and track all your bets. So this Wendell Carter one actually is new, just popped up. I want to check this one out and see if I like it. And I do. So this is a pretty good play. Wendell Carter over 16.5 points plus 102 at Bet Rivers or Barstool or Unibet. So this is something that I'm going to take advantage of. So we're looking for player scoring. We're looking for Wendell Carter. And I'm going to put, so my recommended bet size told me to put about 60 on this one. I'm going to go ahead and round this one up to 75. So I'm going to put 3/4 of a unit on this one. But for those of you at home, I would recommend putting, 3/4 of a unit. But if you don't feel like doing the math between what's 3/4, what's a half, what's full, I would recommend rounding down to a half as opposed to up to a full. But if you do feel like doing the math, I recommend putting 75 or 3/4 of a unit, I should say, on this one, which is 75 for me. So let me add this one to my bet tracker because Bet Rivers, Barstool are not sportsbooks that you can sync yet. We're working on that. But here's another one that I like, and I can talk you through what I like about it. So the no vig odds that you already know, minus 102. If you want to round up to minus 103, you can. But again, let's compare to the rest of the sports books, especially the sharp ones. Pinnacle has this at minus 120, favoring it going over. They think the over is the more likely scenario. Pinnacle is the sharpest sportsbook in the world. They get the highest weight. Bet Online, another sharp sportsbook, also favors it going over. The over at minus 115, the under at minus 112, favoring it going over. And then there's DraftKings, who actually does a really good job, specifically with player props. I don't know the difference between them and FanDuel because they're both DFS, but DraftKings does a lot better job with player props. So I actually like to use DraftKings to determine like what a good line should be, specifically for player props. Also favors it going over, minus 120, the under at minus 110. And then, so those are the three most important ones. If those three are aligned, and they're an outlier from the bet that we are taking, then I will always take that, always. But I still like to look at the rest of the market just to see. And like BetMGM favors the over. Caesars favors the over. The only books that don't are PointsBet and FanDuel. Then obviously Bet Rivers, the bet that we locked it in at. So, and then I guess Fox Bet has it for 50-50 as well. So all in all, still a good play. But the reason why I liked the Andrew Wiggins one more, it was more likely to occur. So if you look at the win percentage, just under 58%. So that is part of it. And also, it's a little bit of a bigger outlier compared to the rest of the books than the Wendell Carter one is. Still like it, just not for as high of a unit size. So let me give this another refresh, make sure I'm getting the most up-to-date lines. So the next one that I was going to lock in here was this Paolo Banchero. No, I'm not. The odds change on that one. I was going to lock in Klay Thompson. That one's still good. Over 3.5 rebounds, plus 135 at Bet Rivers. And also I can lock this in on Barstool because they don't quite have me limited yet like Bet Rivers does. So I've been using Barstool a lot more. So this is going to be half a unit play, just $50 on this one, half a unit. Plus 135 odds, Klay Thompson over 3.5 rebounds. That one has been locked in. So we're good to go there. Let me just add this one to my bet tracker. So I locked it in on Barstool for $50. Click save. And let's chat about this one as well. No vig line, plus 133. Bet Rivers line, Barstool line, we locked it in at plus 135, so there is the gap between those two numbers. And then again, compared to the rest of the betting market, plus 120 on Pinnacle, plus 120 on Bet Online, plus 118, plus 115 at DraftKings. So those three, check, all priced pretty decently lower than the Bet Rivers line. And even the sports books that have it closer, like FanDuel and Pinnacle, still have it closer to the Pinnacle line than they do the Bet Rivers line. So it's still an outlier. And they're still closer to the Pinnacle line. So this plus 135 No book has it higher than plus 125. So that's another good one. My third play, Klay Thompson over 3.5 rebounds. So let me give this one another last refresh because the odds changed on me. And the last one that I was going to lock in here was actually going to look at the Steph Curry over 5.5 rebounds, but the odds changed on me a little bit. It's not as favorable, but it actually is still pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and lock this one in as well. Steph Curry over 5.5 rebounds. I'm going to put another half unit on this one, on this Curry play. Over 5.5 rebounds, minus 115 odds. Half a unit on this one on PointsBet. They should let me get this one, which they did. It's very nice of them. So that is my fourth and final player prop. Half a unit on this one because, again, the outlier isn't as great. Minus 115 is PointsBet and FanDuel. But look at the other books, right? Like BetOnline, minus 128, about 15, 13 cents higher. Pinnacle, like 22, 25, 22 cents higher at minus 137. DraftKings as well at minus 140, 25 cents higher. But the BetOnline has it a little bit closer to the FanDuel and PointsBet, so that's why I'm only putting half a unit on this one. It's all about the likelihood of the bet occurring, and then also how big of an outlier is it. So those are my 4 NBA player props for today. If you're tailing these, let me know, comment on the video. I've been very hot with these the past couple days. I think 4 out of the last 5 have all been profitable. The only one that wasn't was Tuesday, hoping to keep the streak alive. So anyways, appreciate you guys watching. Enjoy NBA tonight and have a good one.